The comfort that you show up in, it makes me feel safe.
Is this like a backhanded?
Wait, can I tell you this?
Is this for real? Are you guys just a nice way of saying like you look like shit chronically?
No, you
Khalyla.
look like you just like walked out of a shower. That's not terrible.
Okay, can I tell you guys the method to my madness, perhaps? And maybe you'll understand me as a human being much better.
Yeah.
I have sensory issues. I don't like tight denim on my body. There's certain types of, like that right there is making me, my mustache sweat come out, like that material. I don't like a lot of things that aren't soft on my body. I'd rather die.
You don't
like, I'd rather die.
Have that too? Like, duh.
Like,
I was brushed as a child. You know, they took me to occupational therapy and they brushed me. My mom would take me up and they're like, brush her every night. They would brush my skin.
Well, then it worked because you're able to put things on you, right? Like, I don't like things.
Are you coming out
me.
as autistic? Without
No, I've been out as HSP for like years, right?
I have to say, I'm not letting you feel special for this. I
just think it's funny that she really put no effort in and you just tried really hard to put no effort in.
Julie is an FDA-approved morning after pill that helps stop pregnancy before it starts. Go to juliecare.co to learn more or find Julie at your nearest CVS, Target, or Walmart today. That's juliecare.co to learn more.
This show is sponsored by BetterHelp. Find more balance with BetterHelp. Visit betterhelp.com/Trash Tuesday today to get 10% off your first month. That's BetterHelp, HELP.com/Trash Tuesday.
Hey Sluggies, happy Tuesday. I am on the road. You can come see me in San Antonio on June 23rd and 24th at the LOL Comedy Club. I also will be in Philadelphia in August at the Punchline, and you can see me in Austin, Texas at the Vulcan Gas Company October 6th through 7th. I also have dates in San Francisco, San Jose, and a lot of really cool places. So go to annieletterman.com/shows, and you can see me every Thursday at 12 p.m. PST and 9 a.m. over on the East Coast on YouTube on Annie Wood with me and Todd. Come check it out.
Hi Slugs, I am so happy and excited to be back on the road sharing my crazy stand-up with all of you. We are going to have so much fun at these shows. I will be in New York City, July 19th through 22nd. I will be in DC, September 28th, and Boston at the Wilbur, September 30th, and more. Get tickets at estheronice.com. I cannot wait to have fun with you guys this summer and this fall. Do you have a mom like that too that encourages you to like wear makeup and stuff? Because I have that. You don't. This is weird.
My mom was completely, she raised me as a boy.
Yeah.
When I would put makeup on, she'd be like, you look like a tart, which is actually so funny. In retrospect, hilarious. But
so she would
hurtful
never
in the moment.
She would never say something you like put on a better outfit or like you look better when you wear makeup.
No, but she would tell me the truth. Like if I was like, do I look good? And she'd say no. I'm like, oh. I really was just looking for that mommy lie.
Wait,
my mom, like I told you, my mom would like put her hair in like a hat and like go up. But this is her story. I think it's the story of A League of Their Own. But she'd be like, put her hair in a hat and like go try to play baseball with the boys and like, scram, girl, get out of here. Baseball's for boys. Like my mom was like such a tomboy.
I think none of us have the mom lie. Like none of us have the mom that's going to be like, no, sweetie, you're amazing.
Do you?
The opposite.
No, yeah,
are you kidding me? More push-ups, bitch. Like, what are you doing? Why don't you look like the specimen I am? Like, that's exactly what my mom would say. And the worst thing about my mom is she's always just been like a fitness babe, right? But she does this thing where like, I don't know if it's genuine or not, but she doesn't show her body. She goes, it's just for me. And she is ripped.
Poor Roger. He's just got to fuck her through a hole. Like a Jewish lady.
No, but she does this thing where it's just like, this is just for me. And I'm like, is it? You could afford to show an ab or
it is like selfish. It's like, let us have it.
Yeah, let me have it. Apply the pressure.
Wait, okay. Speaking of your mom's super fit, hot body, you know how a couple weeks ago...
Did you get a tattoo of her mom?
Did you get Meritus on you?
A couple weeks ago, you were saying that you're trying to bulk up, and then I was like, wait, me too. And I know it seemed like I was just copying you in the moment, but I wasn't, and I have a theory about it. I think that because of the rise of Ozempic, making it easier, so to speak, like there's a shortcut to losing weight. I think that now the trend is going to swing to, well, then the real like flex is being muscular. And I think muscular, like, I think there's a reason we both randomly.
Did they cut your prescription?
Wait,
Esther's doctor's like, there's no more Ozempic for her. And now she's like, I think the thing is to not be on Ozempic.
I was never on Ozempic.
Wait.
And you didn't pay for that check mark.
Esther on creatine doesn't feel right though.
No, I will not be doing
You getting buff is actually so funny that you have to do it.
Esther, can you please you're right, get on subs.
I will actually beat you up if you don't get buff.
Wait, what is that thing that all of these gym girls get on? Just a little bit of this, because like they say like, like
don't act like you don't take it. If the gym girls do it, you do it.
Fucking,
what is the name of the thing? None of us have heard of it.
Annie, if I took it, I can promise you guys would be like, oh my God. It's just because like, how steroids work in men differently than they work in women. So women only really need to take like a time. I just learned this on TikTok. So it was taught to me that the reason all of these gym girls are looking shredded as fuck lately, and I'm just like, I'm working so hard, and why don't I look even like a 10th shredded like that? And it's because they're taking a small amount of what the men are taking, but it works so much better on women to like tone them and shred them that I'm like, oh, there's a cheat in that world too. There's a cheat in this world. There's a cheat everywhere.
Are their lives happy though? Are people getting yelled at home?
Boiled chicken people aren't happy.
Are the dogs like... The dog's getting screamed at?
No, they're not. This is what
I'm... You know what I mean? Like, I just imagine like the gym bitch is going like, Fido, sit the fuck down. You know what I mean? Like, I can't imagine. It's got to come out somewhere.
Well, that's what Teffy was talking about. She's like, boiled chicken people aren't happy. Like the people that bring their own like Tupperware of boiled chicken and broccoli to a party. Like that's not a happy life. I can't imagine that's a happy life.
I did that I was supposed to do like an 8-week program that was like that. I did it for 4 weeks and then cluster headaches. And so like I will murder you if you do this.
Do you think that's related?
No, I mean, it's just different. Every 2 years it's a different thing. So I don't know what it is.
But do you think it might have been the boiled chicken this year?
But it's a little stressful.
Yeah.
It's a little stressful to have to like count everything. And I didn't like it was a program where you would like text in what you ate. It's like, I just don't want to like have another person involved.
No, thank you.
It's already embarrassing enough that my business manager sees what I spend. You know what I mean?
That's too vulnerable.
It's so weird.
Wait, I have
down for life.
Lately, I will, when I'm scrolling TikTok, like if someone is doing a food thing and it's about grams, weighing, any overemphasized thought and work into food like that, I swipe. I don't want to be on that form of TikTok anymore. Like I don't want to weigh food. I get it because I know those people, like that's their lifestyle and it is working for them and I think that's cool. But I realized for me, that's too much effort and thought into food and then too much obsession. I need to just, like I'll try my best to like just eat a serving.
Well, some people like thrive in that sort of like military idea of like full discipline all the time, like, but I just don't. I realize, like, I think every time I do get my cluster headaches, it's around a time where I've been going really hard at exercise or something where it's like harder than is natural for my body.
Yeah, it's like you do you. Whatever works for you, whatever brings you joy in this life. For me, that super regimented lifestyle is not it. I become super disordered. I can't have numbers on my Peloton. I need to know I'm doing this because it feels good, not because it's like I've always used exercise as a way to punish myself for eating a certain meal. I'm done with that. I'm done with that. I'm still pretty hard on myself today, but I'm the same way. Scroll so fast up that whatever macro count. It's like I understand what I'm supposed to be doing, but I choose the peaceful route, the kinder route. And the kinder route is just, I don't need to know the numbers. Like, I know how to eat well, so I'm gonna stick to that.
Are we soft girlies?
What do you mean?
Like, there's like a soft girl movement on TikTok, and I don't exactly know what it is. Like
pudgy?
No, like a soft.
I'm the soft girl of the group.
Like a soft lifestyle. Like we're not like Barry's boot camp anymore. Like we're
I do feel like I've grown out of.
We're softer.
Well, I get sick. It like hurts me. I like can't do it.
I just did some deadlifts this morning though, so I don't know how soft I am, and I'm pretty heavy.
Okay.
I think I'm just like a kind to myself girly, trying to be kind to myself girly.
Okay.
But no, I come from a background of like pure military hell. Like that's hard to shut off. So there's still a part of me that's like, Esther, like work harder.
Oh no. Wait, but I do get off when you say that. Okay, I have a question that there's a division in my household about this. When you buy new clothes, do you wash them before you wear them?
No, you wear them with the tag on 4 times and
Even
decide if you're going to keep them.
Even panties.
No,
You have to wash panties.
of course. But I'm not returning my underwear.
I actually am
You
so...
test drive.
No, because
It depends on the garment.
it's covered in like warehouse debris.
You think you're cleaner and your detergent's cleaner than warehouse? I would take warehouse over something washed by you any day.
Wait, you cut to you wear warehouse perfume.
I wash.
You do wash.
Yeah.
Why do you
Sports
wash?
bras, or if it's bras, underwear, things that have to stay on my body for a long time, I wash. I don't wash things like a dress from, like a silk dress or something. I won't wash that.
Why not?
Well,
Well, you have to dry clean it.
you have to dry clean it.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, that's why all my silk is not good. Every cashmere sweater I own is this big now. Yeah,
Perfect fit.
dry cleaning is. I have assumed that was a myth for a long time. So
Yeah, once they came out with those like dry cleaning bags when I was in college, where you just put your stuff like in the wash in a bag, I was like, "Is this?
Oh,
Did you ever
is that
see
real?
those?
No.
Yeah,
I think that's a
look it up.
mark of a real adult, right? Like when you
Get it.
finally get something dry clean.
Yeah,
Because I have yet to get there.
but then you have to remember it's there. It's like, oh God, how long has that jacket been there?
Yeah, I think the
Wait.
mark of a real adult too is like steaming something.
Mm.
Like having the handheld steamer in your home. Like I don't own one.
I-
I show up wrinkled everywhere and it's like, fuck it.
I like being wrinkled.
Me too.
Yeah, it's the truth.
It is the truth.
Did you know that my mom irons her clothes every morning before she goes to work?
Yeah, that's what real adults do.
I do that.
No.
What is wrong with you?
What?
What do you starch your pants?
And it does not look that ironed, to be honest.
It does.
Like it,
No.
but not that ironed. Like you could have been a little wrinkled and it would have been the same. You could have had that time to.
Andres,
Play with your baby.
Are you
I
my
iron
mommy?
everything. Huh?
Are you my mommy? Wait, you really iron your clothes every day before work?
Yeah.
A moment of silence. A hush over the crowd. That is astonishing.
Where did you learn that? Like, is it something that was just told to you that you had to do?
Yeah, I also iron the clothes for my wife. My mom taught me how to iron, and I've been ironing.
Andrea,
What-
they call him.
Yeah,
What items of clothing do you iron? Like besides just shirts?
yeah, mostly shirts.
Mm-hmm.
Also pants that are, not jeans, but like pants that would be the fabric would wrinkle, like dressy pants or something like
Do
that.
you have an ironing board?
Yeah,
Is it always out or do you take it out
I take it out.
and put it away?
Yeah, what a nightmare.
I mean,
Too many steps. No thanks.
Fancy, is the way I dress basically your worst nightmare? Because everything is
Oh,
always
no.
wrinkled and
I just-
soft.
I just always wore collar shirts, so then it's difficult to wear this completely wrinkled. If you just wear a t-shirt, I feel it's okay.
Yeah, but
You
if it
know-
has design on it or like it just doesn't really show, at least maybe in my head, maybe
Right.
ironers know.
You know, how many steps it would take for me to iron. Like, I would have to. First of all, I'd have to find the garage opener. Okay, I'd go find the garage opener. I'd then have to go downstairs to the garage. I'd realize that I forgot my phone, which is the key to the car, so I have to go back up, get that. I'd have to open up. I'd have to find the shirt that's shoved on the ground in a crumple, take it back up. I'd have to take out the ironing
you
board.
get a phone call. That's
I'd
a
put it-
30-minute break.
I'd have to put it there. I'd have to wake Todd up, get him to iron it. It would just take so much.
And you'd probably find like an old costume from like 6 years ago. And now
Yes.
you're coming out like fully in it, right?
I'm good.
I'm curious, will the slugs tell us, 1, do you even own an iron? 2, do you ever use it? Like, to me, when I think about an iron, I'm just scared. That thing looks
Do you know
scary.
how to iron though? Because I was
Somebody,
taught.
one of the movies she saw must have been Home Alone.
we were formally taught how to iron.
Of course I was not.
By who?
What?
Yeah.
Who would teach us to iron?
Parents.
No.
Come on, man.
My parents were doing other shit.
Yeah.
They're cooler than ironing, no offense.
Did they teach you how to like cook? Like to make a bechamel, babe.
Khalyla, what is this, day one? Our parents did not teach us anything.
I don't know how to read, Khalyla.
I can't swim or ride a bike.
Wait, we're gonna change. I swear, I know I've been saying this for 3 years on this show, but I'm so sorry. I cannot be friends with someone who doesn't know how to swim. Like, I'm so embarrassed when I even say it out
Wait,
loud.
so are you
like,
saying for 3 years you're finally not friends with her?
it's got to change, Esther. This is the summer. This is the summer of Esther swimming.
Fine.
I'm so sorry that I'm not giving you a choice.
Thank God you
It's
waited for her
final.
to start waxing. Look, I seen her in a bikini a couple years ago. and it
Things
was
are...
I don't care what the fuck you wear. If you want, I'll throw you in there naked. I don't care, but you are learning how to swim. It's
Okay,
final.
fine.
Do
Annie
you
and
think
I
she'll
are
be
gonna
like
teach
an
you.
infant where you throw her in and she'll just pop back up?
I actually will do
Her
it
little penis like in the Nirvana.
if you both do it, because weirdly, I will say this, I really trust and feel more safe with Annie in the pool than I do with you, because I think you're
Mean.
tough and scary, and Annie really knows how weak and
I think what you're
Scared I
saying
am.
is
None of
absolutely.
this shit has worked on me. This fake girl power. No, she's got it.
I think that so far no drownings on my record. I can promise you that. No PTSD on my record. I've never had somebody be like, that was so traumatizing, Khalyla. I wish you had gone slower. I'm super slow, methodical, and we go at your pace, but you're getting in the water.
fine.
Thank you.
She thinks she
Thank
can
fucking
manipulate me to not make her go in. I was taking it as a compliment for a second. Let me just wait a second.
Annie, you'll protect me. If you've ever had unprotected sex, forgot your birth control, had a condom break, or you're just not totally sure, we are excited to talk about a new company that is giving emergency contraception a much needed rebrand.
And this is how Julie works, you guys. So Julie stops your body from releasing an egg using the same active ingredient as Plan B or other morning after pills. Essentially, Julie works by preventing or delaying your ovulation. With no egg, there's no fertilization and therefore no pregnancy, and it's no risk for future. And it's no risk to future fertility.
It's legal in all 50 states. You do not need an ID, prescription, or credit card to get it. And they just launched at CVS. You can also find it at Target and Walmart across the US. And Julie is not just a morning after pill. It's a morning after pill brand that is working to increase access to emergency contraception for women across the country, which is very important right now. Julie has a 1-for-1 donation program. That means every time you purchase a Julie at a store or online, the company will donate one pill to someone who needs it. Julie partners with over 25 organizations across the country to provide donations to those disproportionately impacted by health inequalities.
You can go to juliecarrot.co to learn more or find Julie at your nearest CVS, Target, or Walmart today. That's juliecarrot.co to learn more.
This show is sponsored by BetterHelp. It is so easy to get caught up in what everyone else needs from you and never take a moment to think about what you need from yourself. But when we spend all of our time giving, it can leave us feeling stretched thin and burned out. And I always believe it's like, if you don't fill your own cup, you cannot fill someone else's. You need to make sure that your needs are met. You need to make sure that you're operating at your best self. And there's really no better way to ensure that than seeing a therapist. What else can you do that's truly for you, for your mental health, for your happiness, to better your future, than talk to a professional?
What I love about BetterHelp is it's entirely online. It's designed to be convenient, flexible, and suited to your schedule. They also have a journal feature on the app where you can write down your heavy thoughts and share them with your therapist on your next appointment. And you can switch therapists anytime for no additional charge.
I struggled so much finding a therapist in my 20s, and like just all those hurdles, parking, just finding someone that was the right fit for you. The fact that BetterHelp has now made it so convenient and affordable, you can do it from home. You can switch therapists easy at any time. You can find someone who's your specialty. I think if you're thinking of starting therapy, give BetterHelp a try. It's entirely online, designed to be convenient, flexible, and suited to your schedule. Just fill out a brief questionnaire to get matched with a licensed therapist and switch therapists at any time for no additional charge.
Find more balance with BetterHelp. Visit betterhelp.com/TrashTuesday today to get 10% off your first month. That's BetterHelp, HELP.com/TrashTuesday.
Wait, I have this new theory I just thought of. So now that Khalyla is single and she's not having to like take care of Bobby. I think
How do you know that part?
Oh.
What are you talking about? Of course I need to take care of Bobby.
What?
That's a lifelong commitment.
Oh. Well,
It's
that
not.
But it is.
It's
I cannot release him into the wild.
Well, Annie and I think that you need to, so that then you start to miss
I did
having
not
someone-
agree with her.
No.
I don't know what I had no sidebar with her. She says she's adding me in to lessen a blow.
So that you,
I didn't fucking talk to this bitch. Last time you saw me talk to her was the last time I talked to
so
her.
that you will then start to miss having someone to care for, and Annie and I will get the trickle down carings. And
I am a grown up. You are a grown baby. I don't need anyone taking care of me. You can be new Bobby.
that is what
I will crown you new Bobby.
I'm aiming for new Bobby role.
But have I not mothered you all?
No,
these years?
you have, but I'm just saying, like,
Extra mother.
I've seen how much you've had to give, how you've given for Bobby, and I'm like, that's all.
That's all you want?
That's no.
You just want someone hopefully devoted to you?
Well, you're gonna have to fight him.
Dave's
not letting
picketing.
part.
He's busy.
You're gonna have to fight him because he's not letting go of those perks.
Is Dave like picketing more than everyone else so he has a reason to not take care of you? He's like at like dusk till dawn, just like
a team
the first
captain.
one and the last one.
We picketed yesterday together, and I was like, oh my God, like Dave's taking me, like, it's like a date night. It sucked.
so lame.
It's so boring. And I know it's like shitty to complain about, but like picketing is not fun, and I really want this to be over, but we're never going to back down. But yeah.
Dude, it's like
My feet.
they're all on Radford at like high noon.
Yeah.
Like when the sun is just beating down on the concrete. Like it maybe
Well, they could use a little sun. They've been inside eating red vines for the past 6 years straight.
I will say this though, I've noticed the more productive version of picketing is like when people will picket outside of production, because most people who work on a production are not going to cross a picket line, and then they shut down productions, and that like helps the actual cause, because if people are still shooting things, and it's not really affecting the studios, whatever. I mean,
I know what you're saying. If you go to like your coworkers, you're like, "Hey, Bob, you really going in?"
Yeah, that's what works.
Apply
and
the
that's what's
pressure.
effective. Because I don't know if you saw this, but there was a shoot, and literally like 3 picketers.
Died. Oh shoot. Okay, shoot.
It only took 3 picketers to shut a production down. So it's like not that.
I do think you could be annoying enough to do it for everyone.
Just me?
you. Everybody, go home. Esther's got it.
Don't even let me say what I think you could accomplish then. You could end the strike with a snap of a finger.
I won't even need to leave my house.
when you know someone's paying, like, do you order less or more or
Who's
the
the
same?
person?
Ooh, that's a really good.
Is it my manager? Is it my agent? We're going lobster.
Okay, that's a really good point.
Caviar
Let's
on
say
top.
a family
Can you put
member.
caviar on lobster?
I actually am glad you're asking this, because I will not order as much if I know someone else is paying, because I'm embarrassed. And so I hate.
What if it's Dave?
That's different. His money is my money, and my money is my money. But like, yeah, because isn't it, if you know someone's paying, I'm like scared to order a soda, but that's just like the way I was raised, because I wasn't allowed to get sodas.
Yeah. I think like if it's someone that's putting it on a company card and they're writing it off.
Yeah.
Shit.
Yeah.
But
Yeah,
if it's
yeah.
like someone's like coming out of their wallet, and it depends. It's like when I go with Tim Dillon, he's like, that's his thing, is he wants to spend the most money he can.
Yeah, and he probably, like, when I treat people, I really
Yeah, I want
feel
them to-
joy
yeah.
when they
Same.
order and they like, to their heart's content.
Yeah.
So I'm unable to do that if it's someone else's tab. Like I am like really conscientious, and I don't want to be, because you're right. Like they probably feel the same joy I feel when I treat people.
Yeah, like when I know I'm treating, I'm like, let's get this and this and this, and that's when I'm like really going all out. But I would just feel embarrassed to do that.
When's the last time you treated?
In New York, I paid for quite a few dinners with friends, and
Are any of them in the room that can confirm?
the skeleton over there, you met him?
Obviously didn't order a lot.
I said, please order.
By the way, there's a skeleton with a Yankees hat on, and I came in and went, Esther. Okay, if everything in entertainment ended and it was okay. You guys there's no anxiety about it.
Just to be clear,
You had so much money.
It has ended. It's over.
What? And writers? We
Well,
ain't writers.
that's true. No, you're
But
right.
there's no podcast.
Okay.
There's no TV. There's no
I love this
anything like
already.
that. Okay. And that's just how the whole world is and everyone's readjusting. But also you were given millions of dollars and enough money to always like be okay. So you don't have the anxiety of money. And you know that you could, if you try to get good at anything, you get good at it. What would you try to get good at? That has you don't need it to entertain people and you don't need it to make you money.
But could it be a form of entertainment? Or no? It's just like a
Is
hobby.
it you doing it?
And is it just for your own personal joy?
Yeah, it's just like, what would you fill your days with if you had no obligations?
Oh, mine is so easy. It's
Diving
so
or
easy.
whatever?
It would be, I would just live underwater. I
Yeah.
would dive all day. I would swim all day because that is the one place where my head shuts off and I feel very meditative.
Did you see Avatar, The Way of Khalyla?
Dude, Bobby was just like,
I'm
if
actually
for no
writing
other
that.
reason at all, like watch it for the water stuff. And he was right. Like I fast forward to the water
Just
stuff. I was
the
like,
whole
oh my
thing was
God.
you. I'm like, they all look like Khalyla.
But that's a really easy thing for me. Like even when I do like EMDR, like my happy place that I have to get back to is always like water related. I don't know. It just feels so nice.
You should do an
guys.
underwater podcast.
Does it scuba tanks?
It's just like thought bubbles.
My answer is like kind of lame and basic, but because of all the progress I've made over the last 5 years of like just fixing my body ailments with like physical therapy and like
You would go to the doctor. That's
no
doctor's appointments all day, baby.
I would really want to like just keep building muscle and like
I just can't accept this as
and I don't mean
bulking.
bulk. I don't even mean bulking. I just mean like you don't understand. For like 30 years I had no ab muscles.
I just had an image in my head. You know who you would look like if you bulked up?
I don't want to bulk up.
Do you guys know Little Hercules?
No.
Yes.
Can you pull him up? This is exactly what you would look like if you were to
Yes,
bulk
but
up.
with boobs.
No,
Do you think her boobs will go if she bulks up?
the young kid on
Oh
the
got
left.
my
enough boobs.
god.
Yeah, that right there.
This
Click
is
that.
not okay.
On the left.
Ew, look at him now. He's regular. He's living a regular life now. Come
Look,
on, baby
with the
Hercules.
long hair on the left. That's you, Esther.
Oh.
Oh my God! Look, would she not look like that?
Facially, maybe yes.
This is brand denigration. What you're doing to me here. I would want to get focus on like having a healthy body.
I'm so sorry. Did you get a new law term that you're going to use against people? Are you just waiting?
Did she say brand denigration?
Yeah. And then wait, also
Have you been meeting with a lawyer? I will
I'm in law school, remember? And then also I would want to learn how to cook, like really like feed myself, because I've noticed that there's a very meditative experience to cooking, and I feel so fulfilled by feeding myself.
Right.
By the recognizing of like, oh, I'm not dependent on a restaurant is like very empowering for me. And so I know those aren't like exciting or fun, but that's the first thing that comes to mind. Like feed myself really well and like take care of my body because I don't want to be in
Housewife.
pain. Oh, yeah.
But to
But
yourself.
no kids.
No, oh no.
Just for yourself.
Yes.
Just for yourself.
Yeah.
Would you cook for Dave too or just yourself?
I would cook for Dave, but we're
But
eating
you'd
what I
wait till you were
make.
good. Dave, are you watching?
We're eating what I make. You don't get to choose.
Is this my camera? I always look at this one.
Wait, what about you?
I would probably just do artwork.
Like what?
There's like so many things I never did. I never have tried really oil painting. I've really only painted with like acrylic or anything, but I never do it because I realized I was trying to think of like, why do I not draw more? And it's because I've somehow attached it to like entertaining with it and monetary stuff.
You are so good too, Annie.
Yeah.
Like you're genuinely.
But I could be really good if I practiced. I only draw like once every 3 years.
So
I told you it was with Benji I came up with that one, right?
Yeah, that makes so
Benji was like, I was hanging out with Benji at Flalo and we were supposed to be writing jokes and I just got this idea to draw the Danny DeVito thing. And he was like, stop drawing. You're never going to make any money off of that. And like 2 hours later, I made my most profitable thing I've ever done in my entire life.
Not surprising.
That's what's good about Benji. You got to not take advice.
Wait, there are people like that. I think they're just as valuable because it's like whatever that person says, do the opposite and it works.
Yeah. Well, whenever I listen to like, do you guys ever listen to Abraham Hicks or any of that sort of stuff? There's like this theory of like every time you're like, if you're negative or something bad happens, it's actually not bad because it's reminding you of what you don't want, which is now showing you what you do want. It's actually putting out like positive manifestation vibes too. Because on the other end of it.
And if there's something you really, really want to do, my new life hack is to not share it with anyone because like it kind of serves as like internal fuel. It's like your own little secret kind of dream that you keep. And I find that the moment I announce it, I've gotten the dopamine hit.
Yeah.
I've released it and I am not going to follow through with that plan anymore because I've already shared my dreams. But if I keep it to myself, I'm like, ooh, this is exciting.
Yeah.
You're
I
like
wanna see this
excited to
through.
show off the end result.
The end result, yeah. But usually I won't get to the end result if I'm just talking and kind of already getting the dopamine hit either, or the disappointment when someone says, I don't like that idea.
Ooh.
So like both ways is not good for me. I would rather
Don't have
just...
my old manager. Oh, okay.
Wait, I recently came across something. I don't know if it's from you, Esther, but basically there are men out there that are looking for a very specific type of lazy girl. Have you heard about this?
Wait, okay. Let me pull up this post I found. Because it's like,
I think it's been circulating and I'm kind of like, I'm so intrigued by it because I'm like, could that be me?
I think it's all of us.
A lazy girl?
But like lazy is obviously a myth, right? But he wants a specific type. Okay, just there's
Okay.
a post circulating.
I think it'd be healthy for you to have someone that just wants you to. But I don't
Yes.
know what this is yet.
You might be right, Annie. Actually, I think Annie already has the
you've
answer.
not been a very lazy girl at all.
So someone sent me this. They found it on Reddit and it says, I adore lazy women. I have this fetish where I prefer a woman who does nothing all day. Video games or TV or just napping all day sounds super hot. I want to be the one working long hours to pay for them to be lazy all day. Then I want to get home and be told to cook and clean while she continues to be lazy and do nothing. I have this fascination with lazy women. Like I just want to enable all the bad habits. Ideally a stoner, drinker, and or smoker. Is this attainable? Has anyone ever heard of this?
But here's the thing.
Yeah, that
is she supposed to be hot and fit too? You know what I mean? Like you can find that woman. She's 600 pounds. She's on TLC right now.
Wait a second, you're right, Annie, because it's like, does he just want a little sex doll then? To just fuck when he wants to fuck, but then wants to kind of just watch and like, I don't know what that is. Like this person, or is she also cruel? Is she just like, is she showing him attention? Like, what is the deal?
Yeah, and now it's reminding me, I don't know if you guys saw John Mayer on Call Her Daddy, but he said that he wants a woman who is more, who like will just sit in his house and like chill. And he basically described a pet cat. And now I'm like, is that what this is too?
I like that part where it's like, I don't want to have to feel like I need permission to nap or lounge or have a super just relaxing day. I'm not even going to say lazy because I think we all deserve just super relaxing days. I like that part. But if you're going to force me to do nothing, that's a little fucking excessive. Like that's crazy. That feels like a prison.
It seems kind of like a fetishy, like it would be fun for a couple weeks, you know, to be the lazy girl.
Laying around sucks. Like, you ever break your leg? Like, it's tough.
Yeah.
By the end of it, you're like, oh, God.
If you're forced to lay around.
It's
and do
just
that.
like, yeah, I just can't imagine choosing laying every day, ever.
That's my favorite hobby. I swear to you guys, when I get out of the shower in the morning, I sit and I just dissociate. I lay and I just dissociate.
Yeah, but you also do like 1,000 push-ups.
After.
So for you to play lazy girl is very weird.
Should you be John Mayer's cat?
I'm going to scratch the fuck out of this ball sack.
Were you ever on dating apps? Why do I picture you of never having been on them?
I was on them for a very brief,
Okay.
horrific time. I went on 3 dates and they were memorable.
You guys.
I can't believe that's what people do now.
No,
It's so weird.
it's
It's grim.
haven't we sort of proved that like by now the research shows that that's like what's ruining our culture, is that like people have too many options and then
Well,
no
it's
one
like
wants.
Netflix, right? Yeah, you're like, there's too many things to watch. It feels like there's nothing to watch. That kind of thing.
And I know you're single, and I don't know if this is like triggering or whatever, but what is your opinion of it?
I go out into the wild. The last 2 boys that I dated were out from the wild.
I just feel like it's
Except I met a girl. I only turned my hinge on for girls. And I swear to you guys, like, she is the hottest girl, like, I think I've ever seen. And
But when you met her, it wasn't a vibe, right? Isn't that what you said?
I don't know if there's just no vibe or it's because I'm just not
You're
like,
straight.
you think?
Sorry, unfortunately
I think
for
she's
the audience.
fluid.
I'll accept whatever diagnoses, but
If you don't eat each other out,
oh, my pussy is in its really, really perfect state right now.
Why?
Explain.
It's like a couple days after my periods ended, and the smell is intoxicating. It's the most perfect pussy scent ever. It's kind of right before ovulation. It's not as goopy, but it's like, oh, so good, you guys. Like, I will do this all day. It smells so fucking good.
yeah, but it's your own brand. You need someone else to tell you.
I'll smell it if
Call
you
one of
smell
your
it.
20 ex-boyfriends and ask them. They're all on speed dial waiting for Khalyla to call.
I'll wait.
They're like asleep, like, oh, hello, babe.
But like, do you think that dating apps are like this whole like myth that like they made us think that that's how it should be, and then they're actually so wrong because you need to like have eye contact and like meet the person?
I think it's so weird. Like for me, and I only went on these 3 dates. It was like very, it's like there's so many layers of disappointment involved, or potential disappointment. I guess if you meet someone and it's a vibe, that never happened for me. But I think like you see a person, you're not supposed to see a person. You're not supposed to have all these components. Like you see them and then you also have like emails with them basically, and you don't smell them, make eye contact with them, see what they look like in public. Like you're supposed to see what someone looks like
and feel
and
the
feel
vibe.
if there's a vibe or something. And then, but so what happens is I'll like see this guy online. I'll create who I think he is from his profile. So I create this character. I get like really into this character, right? And I'll go real like far into the story. I'm like, okay, here he is, music producer. Okay. All right. He loves hip hop. I'm like, ooh, he loves hip hop. This is so cool. I'm like, oh, I bet he wears like a nice like flat brim hat with a little hoodie over it. Ooh,
So you
I love
assume
it.
his wardrobe.
I
even.
start, yeah, like, cause you know, you see like what, like 4 pictures or whatever. And I'm like, okay, I can kind of like, I can use my own, I can put what I want him to be in there and kind of like mix it up. And then you meet the person and they're nothing like it. They're into classical music. They're eating dry cashews as their snack, which for some reason is the least hot thing that could possibly happen.
Well, it's like
When they said they were a biker, was bicycles. They like wear their helmet. You know what I mean? It's like when I'm online, I'm looking for a guy that's brave enough to get that head injury. Okay.
I think I always love
But
the
so then,
You go ahead.
no, but I was just saying. So then, like when I meet this person, not only are they not a vibe for me anyway, and they never were going to be. There's like a funeral I have to have for this person I thought that they were. So I created this character, and I have to now kill this person that never existed, who I like was totally vibing with. Do you know what I mean?
Yes,
Yeah.
versus the opposite, which is my last experience of dating somebody. It was like the first time I met him, like I didn't even clock him as like just nothing. There was no feeling in my body about anything, because that's usually how it is when you meet someone in the wild, right? They're just like, oh, okay, like he's just a guy.
yeah.
And then you learn about them slowly, like, oh, like you're an artist. Oh, you actually ride motorcycles. Oh, you build motorcycle engines. Oh, you surf. Oh, you're a sculptor. Oh, like all of these things start to build. So you start from this thing, and like it's the opposite of what Annie's talking about, because then it builds that kind of like, no shit, that's amazing. And then you start to feel that like you're impressed with, you know, like you just like leave all that room to be surprised and impressed by somebody.
Yeah, that
Versus
sounds
online dating, because everything's already out there. You know, you need everything you need to know. The
Yeah,
way
you're
they
getting
dress.
things backwards. You're getting the hobbies first, and
Yeah.
then you're getting like the way they stand.
Yeah.
Like there's things that matter. It's
There's nothing to be like, there are no surprises anymore.
Yeah.
Like, even if you look at my dating profile, you'll be like, oh, she likes the water. Like, that's not something he needed to find out about me. Like, oh, she free dives. Like, I know all of her hobbies already.
And it would be so much more magical, I'm sure, like to be in person and hear that from you and discover it there.
And if they already know all your hobbies, all we have left to tell them is our rape stories. So better order quick. Get those apps out on the table.
But I mean, even that's out there if they were to like search one podcast episode.
I know it is weird, like to date when you're a public figure too, where it's like, especially on a podcast where it's like there's so much interpersonal stuff going on, or what do they call it? Parasocial.
Yeah.
Parasocial.
Wait, okay, that kind of reminds me. So this morning I took Pilates, and I'm so beautiful.
At home or in a studio?
Didn't shower, did you?
In a studio. I showered before.
Body? Oh, before. Okay.
Is that? Oh, really? I get credit for that.
What, before?
Esther.
Any showering well, it wasn't a shower when it was
a bath.
We'll take the shower.
But honestly, I do understand why you wouldn't bathe that much, because bathing is such a thing.
It's a production.
A shower's quick.
Yes.
A bath is like.
But I cannot choose to stand when the option to sit is right there in front
Yeah,
of
a bath is basically a wheelchair shower.
Okay, so this morning in Pilates, my teacher was like, and I love the studio, I love all those people, but like, she said something that I thought was really strange. Like, she said, oh, I'm so glad that a certain client isn't here today because they're in this band of this song. And she was like, I wouldn't want to play it in front of them. And I was like, in my head, I'm like, that's so weird. Like, so then you're like putting extra thought into not playing a certain song so that like
no,
this person...
Can I just break this down?
She was name dropping.
Just name dropping.
Yeah, that's all. She's just bragging proud that somebody famous takes her class. Esther,
which I'm a pro name dropper. I'm like, yes, I'm like definitely name drop. That's awesome. What was the band?
I had no idea.
Wait, you didn't catch...
That's why it just didn't impress you. That's where you're like, what the hell is this? Were you like, why isn't she playing like old episodes of Alone Together?
That's why I was like, please play my anything. Like, but I thought it was weird because it kind of made me think of this phenomenon that's like new in the last 10 years or whatever, of like when you meet someone and you know them from, you know, online, or maybe you know their work or whatever. I think it used to be like, well, how do I act like it? But I think now we know to be like, oh, I know your stuff. Like, right? Isn't it? It's just normal. I just don't live in a world anymore where I can like pretend I don't know, or like, oh, I wouldn't dare play their song in front of them. It's like, no, that's cool.
But don't you think it would be weird if you were like working out and then your song came? That is weird. You're like trying to focus on the thing and then your own voice comes on.
Well, why is that weird? You're an artist.
The instructor does this?
But the instructor is the one that made the playlist.
So they're a fan of your work. Why is that bad?
Because now they're putting you like, okay, so here's the thing. I do usually very much geek out when I know someone, but I also take a vibe. Like if it's something that's gonna like take from what's happening for them in that moment, I don't really do that. Like I don't want to like, if it's too much, like if someone's like in the middle of a conversation and I come in, like I'm not gonna go like, I know you from, not that I'm saying you do, but it's like if they're in a class, but her bringing it up is funny.
Okay,
they're not there.
Well, how about this?
It's hilarious.
Let's say
and he's right. Like very simply, like that was just her bragging about having a famous client.
Brag, guys, brag.
How about this? You're throwing a party. You made a playlist and it's a bigger party. And so there's like friends of friends there, and someone whose song is on one of your playlists is at the house. Are you going to go upstairs or whatever, grab your iPod? In this world, you have an iPod.
That's the last time people came over to hang.
Last time I played a playlist, the iPod was upstairs in my room. Are you going to go up there and remove the song from the playlist because you're like embarrassed?
Or are you going to go up there and just listen to it by yourself?
No, seriously. Like, are you going to be like, who cares? They're here. I like their music. Are you embarrassed that you like their music?
No.
I'm tactless. So I'm a tacky bitch.
I have a question for you guys. If you meet fans outside of when you're performing, you're expecting to have fans there coming to you, ask for pictures, but if you're in your regular life and you have those people,
do I see people looking at me and go, it's me?
What type of fan do you like? The one who's like intrusive and like, you know, the hardcore fans, or like people who like, oh, you know they know you, but that's it, a little nod? or do you like that people come, invade your space?
Well, it depends on if they're like invading it. I love when people recognize me. I think it's so awesome. I cannot pretend like I don't love that. I love it. I think and they're always like, oh, sorry, I didn't want to ask for like a picture. I'm like, always ask for a picture. Like, I don't even care if I look like shit. Like, I think it's so sweet. It's so exciting. I'm glad that like my work is connecting with people. It's like really exciting.
I love it too.
If I'm in a conversation, someone comes up, says they're a fan, I'm like, oh my God, thank you. And we have like our moment, and then they keep talking, and I'm like hearing what's happening over here in this conversation that I was really enjoying. I'll go like, there was someone that did that to me. It was at the Comedy Store, so it wasn't like that crazy, but there was a woman that would not go away. She would not go away. And I had to say to her, the gossip that's happening without me right now is killing me. Like, it's killing me right now that what's being talked about and I'm not included in.
Yeah.
So I was like, so I'm going to need to end this here. Thank you so much.
But see, if I was your fan in that moment, I'd be like, okay, let's go to the gossip together. Like, you're just torturing me by telling me.
But so then she came back and tried to do it again. And that's when it becomes like that person has a personality disorder. So if they're cool, people know their regular people know their boundaries. And I think we have like collected a very good, cool audience. I haven't had too many weirdos.
Yeah, I think occasionally, like I feel the same way. I love when people say hi. It makes me so happy to meet them in the wild. I don't care what I'm doing. I'm just like happy they're even coming and saying hello. Like, it means a lot to me. But what Annie's saying, like, sometimes there have been times like either after like Bobby shows or like even after like one of your shows, if someone's like belligerent and drunk and just trying to like not and they get a little handsy, like that's like a big no for me. Then I'm like, okay, dude, like I'm out.
Totally.
But that actually happens like a lot.
Some guy pulled Todd aside. He didn't say anything to me. He's like, can I talk to her? And I watched it happen. I was like, oh my God, my boyfriend's like got stabbed by some guy. But he like pulled him aside and he pulls out $100. He goes, I want to give you $100. And Todd's like, why? And he goes, I always said if I ever saw Annie, I'd give her $100 for all the entertainment she gave me, but I don't want to bother her, so I'm going to give it to you. And Todd didn't take it, obviously, but I was like, Todd, you owe me $100. But that was like so funny and weird. It was like such a weird thing that could have been so bad for me, but the fact that he went to Todd made it like just funny. And like,
I had like a perfect interaction. I was out to dinner. It was me, Dave's mom, and Dave's sister. So it's like the perfect time.
I know, it's beautiful.
A girl just walked up to the table and was like, I just want to say, like, I love your TikToks. Keep doing what you're doing. And then walked in. I was like, that was so perfect. Like, because also to give a little encouragement is nice. And it was quick and it was in front of, like, that was the dream.
I know, it is funny. They're always like, just keep going. You're almost there. Like, where am I going? Wait,
don't give up.
I know. They're like, look, it looks like this could be the last one every time. Yeah, no, when we were in Atlantic City with Todd's parents, I just knew it was like we were getting our car. I was like, it's going to happen. It always happens. Like, I'm always like, it's always the perfect time. It's always when people are around. When I was in Costa Rica on my breathwork thing, I got recognized. That was fucking cool.
You know what? The greatest feeling ever was being recognized when I was in a small island in the Philippines, like in my home. Yeah. I always imagine like podcasting is just like a big, American thing, right? But someone's like, wait, like as I was like going through this tiny little alley to go to this tiny little beach, and this island is like, you guys, like not a lot of people, and it was a Filipino guy. It wasn't some American or some foreigner who like you can maybe like assume like, oh, they listen to just podcasts when they travel. No, this is a Filipino guy that lives there, and he was like, wait, Khalyla. I was like, wait, what?
What if it was like one of your brothers? He's like, I banged you, I'm your brother. There's another one.
That one felt really like extra special.
No, it is
to me.
like, it's cool.
Especially because like your own people are like proud of you. They're like, no, like I love that you're doing this. I'm like, oh my God.
But I'm like tacky, braggy, like name droppy too. So it's like if someone does that to me and people have just like walked into the room, like, wait here for 1 second. Guys, come back here for a sec. You tell them what you just said. I ain't above it.
No, that's, of course. That's
whenever anyone like at the Comedy Store, if they're like, oh my God, you're my favorite, I'll get Pauly Shore. I'll be like, Pauly. I'm like, wait, Emily.
I totally forgot. I've blocked this one out. But one night in New York, me and Dave were getting frozen yogurt, and we walk out, and this really young, cool guy he walks up to Dave, he goes, oh my God, aren't you a very famous actor? And Dave just goes like, no, and keeps walking. And I was like, well, he's on the show Love, and the kid's like, yeah. And then like I was like, I'm a comedian, and he like did not even hear me, did not even care.
You're like, I jumped in a pool, and like, didn't you jump in a pool?
Yeah.
Oh my God, did you
Wait,
swim?
no,
on
I
Love?
didn't jump in a pool. Someone tried to get me to, and I
Oh
said
my
no.
God, they wrote that for you? It's a documentary?
and yeah, it was just so funny that Dave got recognized as a very famous actor. Dave's like, I'm like, Dave, you should have told him you're in love. He's like, I'm not a very famous actor. I'm like, but the kid is confused. Like, yeah.
That's so funny to say it like that too.
Okay, so recently it's been brought up to me that men often feel the burden of getting hard. And this was, the context was, oh wait, what was the context? Oh, we were like, you know, when men look at idealized photos of women, you know, they can become less attracted to their partners, but it's not the same is not the true for women. Women can look at like attractive dudes and still feel attracted to their partner. But then the dudes, the way they kind of defend themselves in this situation, it's like, no, like we have to look at more images than girls do because we get stimulated visually and we have the burden of actually getting an erection. Like kind of like they have to show proof of like, does that make sense?
No.
That's the defense, you guys. I'm just saying, like, they're like, so there are men out there who feel kind of pressured by the burden of an erection.
Okay, then stop looking at like porn.
Stop desensitizing yourself.
And stop jerking off too tight, and stop like looking at hot girls on Instagram. Like they're doing it to themselves. That's like me saying like I ate too much ice cream sundaes, and so like I can't eat one. I can't have my dinner. It's like that's my fault. That's my fault.
That's actually really good.
That's not mommy's fault.
Is that what you play, mommy? Mommy son?
Right?
No, I agree with you. I think it's like, so yeah, why are you have to look at all of these other girls. It's just like, you don't have to do shit.
What is your
No, I think I agree. It's like if it feels like there's a burden for an erection, you're maybe overstimulated. Like maybe you need to fucking scale back.
They got meds for that too. Take a fucking a BC.
True.
We're not saying
you know what? You're right.
So
there is.
Pay us.
You're right. There is no more burden. There's everything to support male erections.
Yeah, but hold on. How do we feel about a man needing to take a pill to get hard for us?
Well, if that's what's happening, that's what's happening. It's the truth.
Okay.
What are we going to do? Yell at him?
Yeah.
Get hard!
How do you genuinely feel though when he goes soft on you midway?
I go, he must be having some emotional problems because it ain't me. You better handle yourself.
Wow, you're so healthy, Annie. Like I for the longest time I would take it like personally, like when I was younger, not anymore.
Yeah, I know. It's like I feel
you're
like when
oh,
you're younger, when you're just like banging to please them anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Esther, no one's gone soft midway?
I think that's happened, and that is very tragic feeling when it happens. It's
like, what do you say? How do you comfort them in that moment? You're like, it's all like, this is my script. My script is someone, you know, I can see that they're feeling, they were very hard and sometimes they like edge a little bit too much. So now they can't like get it back. Whatever it is. They're laughing because they know exactly what I'm talking about.
Oh my God.
Because you try to delay the come. And sometimes when you do that too much, you cannot kind of keep it as hard anymore or you, right?
This is HR.
Sure.
Well, that's happened to me and I, what do I say? Okay, so in
like
the
sometimes
moment,
the nipple clamps on them are too hard.
I guess I
The duct
say
tape
like,
around them is too hard.
I say like, hey, let's just make out. Let's just like hang and
Well,
let's
also
just
it's
chill
like-
for a second.
If something is like mentally happening to them, right? It's like if it's someone, you know, like I've been in situations where it's like you don't want to like bug them either because they're having like a thing. It's like their issue or whatever. So sometimes I'm, you know, it's like we can just like do it later or whatever. It's not a big deal.
But what do you say in that moment though?
All right, I'm trying to think because there was a thing with a guy.
I'm like, no, we have a check. If this is ever a problem, I'm making a checklist. I'm like, Did you watch porn? Like you need to stop
In the
jerking
moment,
off.
Esther, his dick is going soft and you're giving him a checklist.
Pack your bags.
She opens her side drawer. She pulls out the list she's already written.
Yeah.
She goes, check off the ones that are applicable.
Yes, you fill out this form, and we'll have a conversation afterwards.
What do you guys like? What would you like to hear in that moment where you're like, fuck, like I really do want to have, like, I'm attracted to this person, but my dick's not cooperating. Like, what's a nice thing to hear from a girl?
Like so married. Look how married these guys are. Like a girl.
New dad, married.
Not only I'm married, I mean, you guys have opened up my sensitivity, but I was, raised very Catholic and I went to a nun school until I was 14. So like these topics is never, has always been more like a private thing. Like since I met you and obviously Bobby and Andrew and talking about it so publicly, it's like, I think it's very healthy, but it's like, I have
You don't have to, boundaries.
Wait, you sound like Dave. I just want to support you in this moment that Dave thinks it's absolutely insane the way we talk. So you're not like alone.
Right.
I do want to say though, if you fill out my checklist and I find that you're not guilty, I will help you. Then, if this is not your fault, then this is a safe space.
What if you can't help them?
We'll cross that bridge when we get there. But if you are abusing yourself and it's your fault and it's not just natural aging or...
What if they blame you for using the cheese grater on the
my teeth?
But what happened if it's the opposite? Meaning like if you guys, for whatever reason, you also could be in the middle of it and be uninterested.
Yeah.
Oh, well, we're used to that.
Yeah,
we just power through and then we just like get it over with. And I'll say something when I want him to just come so fast. I'll be like, come inside me. And then boop, it's done. So then I'm like, oh, thank God. I couldn't have lasted 30 seconds longer. I didn't want 30 seconds more of that. It's just like there are things that we do to just kind of like get them there faster. So we're done. But thankfully, I haven't had to do that in a long time because like I actually like sex with people now. But I am learning, Fancy, to kind of tone it down a bit and speak in a more generalized way because I've just been so trained to specifically talk about Bobby and all like the very like, like the details that we would go into. I just can't do that anymore with a partner. Like, I'll never find another partner. Not that I'm seeking. I'm fully okay being alone, but just like I have to relearn these things.
Did you think she was about to cry just then?
No.
I misread, and then you were totally fine. I was like, your voice quivered, but it wasn't that, and I was completely okay.
But I do think it is remarkable, like the person you were with not only was like so open, but like doesn't listen to this show. So it's like you could just say anything, and that is such a luxury, and it makes you a great podcaster. Like, the freedom.
Does Dave listen to this show because he wants to make sure you didn't say anything bad, or does he
sometimes
like it?
I think he doesn't listen all the time, but I think he sometimes listens for both of those reasons.
Yeah.
That makes
he also
sense,
has like his own career too.
There are people that think that anonymity is like virginity, you only lose it once and then that's it.
Yeah, I didn't value my virginity either though, so.
So what would your anal virginity be if it's about anonymity? When people tell whether you do anal or not?
Fancy. This is I might be a helicopter parent.
Explain.
So when I have to leave my children, my dogs, my pets, when I leave town, I leave a fucking Bible for my pet sitter with pictures and like pages and pages and pages of instruction about the tiny little things like Remy likes this. Please don't pick him up when he's fully like insane detail. And I'm like, oh, like I'm going to be an insane parent, I think, if I do this with my dogs.
I think that you do this with your dogs and would not be like that with human children. And I am projecting because I do still think that all of us will never love our human children as much as we love our dog human children. And so I don't think you have to worry. But I love that you're that detailed. And if I was your pet sitter, which I hope soon one day to be, I would love that much detail.
Julio will fucking rip you to shreds.
Hidden camera, please have a hidden camera. There better be a Ring camera. Do you remember when your dog attacked you when we were doing emancipation? It's literally the funniest thing that's ever happened in our entire friendship. Pepper just attacked. I was like, can you knight a dog? It was the funniest thing I've ever seen.
Pepper is so bad.
I think the way you are with Jules will be the way you are as a parent.
I do ask her that. I always get like an end of year assessment from her. How was I as like a person in your life? Like things I could improve on.
Really?
Mm-hmm. I don't want to scar her. I'm so afraid of like not doing right by her. I understand now why you thought I was crying. I'm just congested.
It was just a moment where I was like, oh my God, I didn't think you were going to be this like emotional about the thing you were, I don't remember what you were talking about, but I was like, and then I wasn't sure if I was the only one that was like gearing up.
I think it was like anal virginity. No, but I'm so scared of fucking her up.
So I think helicopter parenting is totally...
Yeah, I'm just trying to think of like, of course, it's like your dog, and your dog can't speak. They can't tell anyone what they want, what they need, what they think, but you know because you've lived with them. I'm just trying to think of like with parenting, I don't know what the right type of parenting would be with kids, but
I think the number one thing with Jules that I'm most afraid of is that like I never want her to feel like she's walking on eggshells because I walked on eggshells my whole life.
Kneeled on them too.
True. And rock salt. Like I never knew like what version of my mom I was going to get that day. Was I going to get a kind mom? Was I going to get an angry mom? And I was really afraid of that. So like the one thing I always ask her is like, am I consistent in my moods? Do I take things out on you when it's like undeserved? And so those are the things like I'm just hyper like aware of because I don't want to do that to her.
Yeah.
It's scary.
I had an ex-boyfriend that was like, his mom had some personality disorders, but so when he would get like hit, he would get hit for like no reason out of nowhere. So he was fucking crazy. Like, I mean, he was like so erratic because there was never like not that you should beat your kids, but it wasn't like a discipline beating. It was like she'd just be pissed about something and hit
Yeah, and that's how you build.
That had nothing to do with what was happening.
That's also how you build empaths, right? Like empaths aren't born, they're made because you have a kid in a very like inconsistent environment. So they have to almost like keep track of the tiniest little shifts in people because there's an implication to their safety. She did this thing with this eye and I think a bad mood is right around the corner and I'm going to pay the price. She's going to come after me. So I'm going to clock this. So you become so fucking aware of every little thing and it terrifies you. And I think that's why like, you know, and for people are like, oh, being an empath is so great. I'm like, no, that was a sad journey to get there. Right, it was like a very terrifying journey to get there.
It has a bad origin story.
It really does. And I think it's a superpower, but it can also be a curse because then you read into things that maybe like don't need to be, you know, read into.
Yeah.
But
I know like if someone does like the smallest little thing and then you internalize it and you're like, that meant this. And Dave will always say to me like, you can't read people's minds. Like, why are you thinking that little thing? Like, you can't read anyone's mind. So don't try.
I gotta say about all that, like my dad was so angry when I was a kid and so like verbally abusive and so just really, really, really had anger management problems. But he did so much work on himself. And it's like so cool to have been able to like have this whole life with my parents where they've like evolved out of these things. We've been able to like talk things out and stuff. That it's weird when that core wound gets triggered again. It's so weird because I'm like, I've already healed it with the person that it started with. It's weird that that's still there. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like you'd think that would just like go away.
It doesn't. It really doesn't. And if you think about like how like the stages of wound healing, like in real life, like when you get a cut or, you know, like a deeper wound, say for instance, like it looks worse before it finally heals. There's a point where you're like, is this infected or is this scar tissue building? I kind of like think the same of like inner wounds where it's like, it almost feels like, oh God, like I can't tell if it's getting better or if it's just like opening up or becoming more infected. Like I can't tell sometimes.
That's what I always say when I'm cleaning my room. I'm like, it's going to get worse before it gets better. You know, I got to put everything out on the floor and yeah. Anyway.
Fine. Ooh. Flex.
Muscles?
Wow.
Wait, really?
Bulky.
Wow. If you were tan, I think you would look so ripped right now.
Well, I will never be tan because that's not good for you to get sun.
Annie, you don't get itchy from spray tans?
Are you saying that because you see me just itching nonstop? I've literally been going in every hole of my pants.
To say to someone,
I'm literally like going to my pussy to itch my leg.
hey, you don't get itchy, do you?
As I've been itching.
Wait,
No, I don't think that's what's making me itch. I think it's because I honestly think it's my waxing that is making me itch. I'm on like the 3rd week since I waxed.
oh, because you waxed
and it's
everything.
like growing back, and now it's.
Shit, I cannot do spray tans because there's that period or like a couple days after where it's just so dry and itchy.
You also were born naturally with like kind of not to be racist, a spray tan. The Lord's spray tan.
No, but in the
an olive Asian complexion.
in the
That's
thick of
not
the
olive,
winter,
is it?
sometimes I'm like, oof.
We can't.
No, but at least that I know. You're
What?
not
She's
olive.
olivey.
My sister is olive, I think. I'm like right underneath
She's
olive.
a little olivey.
And it
Olive-ish.
depends.
Because I think I'm pale olive.
Oh.
Olive.
No, or am I yellow? I'm not yellow.
You're not yellow.
You're not jaundiced, no.
Well, like, are we the same?
No.
We're talking about like makeup, right?
I'm white. Like you're pale, but I'm white. And I have spray. We can't
Oh.
do this.
You have a spray tan right now?
Yeah. Well, it's like an old one.
Huh. You guys, thank you so much for listening. We love you. Let us know if you iron your clothes. That's actually really important to me. And we'll see you next week. Don't forget to subscribe and share. And we'll see you next week with a brand new episode.
Bye, guys.